Morning, Neil Smith, Branch Secretary, GMB Manchester 115 Branch, Northwestern Irish Region. Thanks again for talking to us. Could you give us a little bit of insight, because I'm really not sure what an academy is. I know this word's been bantered around all over. It seems to be the new buzzword with regards to our children's education, but I'm not absolutely 100% sure what an academy is. Could you give me some insight?
Well, an insight into what academies are for me, from a personal point of view, is an academy is just a privatised school. A privatised school, especially within Manchester, what we pay for out of our rates, year in, year out. It's going to affect not just me, it's going to affect the community, it's going to affect the people that work there, lunchtime organisers, teachers associations. It's going to have an impact on everybody. Academies are nothing but private sponsors, people coming in who are irrelevant to that area, from outside the community, coming in for the fast buck. Education, what I remember, was free in this country. The problem is nowadays, under the Tory legislation, it's not becoming free. Little Johnny who lives around the corner with a runny nose won't be able to go to his local school anymore because it's been sponsored by a school in Altrincham or a school in Cheshire, and that just isn't right.
Okay, so your explanation of an academy is a privatised school, so we're selling off our schools to private company.
Yeah, certainly right. And the silence from Manchester City Council is just unforgivable at the end of the day. I mean, the schools that have had work programmed for them, i.e. £750,000 facelifts, that are then turned into an academy that has then had a £50,000 deficit, of which us, Manchester City Council ratepayers, have had to pick that up. Not the sponsor coming in, but us, the community, the ratepayers of Manchester. And I'm just baffled by the silence of Manchester City Council, which is a Labour-run city council, and they won't speak out against academies.
So I don't understand, Neil. You're telling me the council puts 750 million into a school and then hands it over to the private sector to run?
No, Cecil, 750,000.
750,000.
I wish it was 750 million. It's 750,000 into one school for repairs. That was programmed to be done fairly. I have no problem with that. But if it's going into a sponsorship by a private company, then we should do something under the rules and regulations that says we can claim that money back.
So are we giving that money away to private?
As far as I'm, well, we're not getting it back.
Well, that doesn't seem like a fair deal to the taxpayer.
Well, I totally agree with you. To the ratepayer in Manchester, it's not a fair deal at all.
So, Neil, let's. What do you think then? The GMB branch, the Manchester 115 branch. What type of difference do you think we could do here in Manchester for your members?
Well, what we do and what we have been doing is we've been attending all meetings where we've been let known that there is an academy meeting going ahead. Some schools, because of legislation, they're not under law to let you know of when they wish to become an academy. They have to let the city council know, the local authority. They don't have to let the unions know, but we have a good working relationship with the GMB. Yeah. We do attend all meetings, but the problem is, it's like your finger in the dam at the moment. Academies are coming thick and fast, 1 a week, 2 a week, and the problem is it's getting round to every school. We are getting round to them, but what we would say to people who are not in unions, unless you become a GMB member, then we will not be able to represent you. And there's no better time than now to join the GMB with the changes that are going ahead, especially in education.
So when you say changes, Neil, are the new academies, because they're now private run, is there different rules then for our GMB members? Can they lose their jobs easier? Or well, when I say GMB members, could be anybody working in the school now.
Well, that's right. You're totally right there, Cecil. It's not about the rules. It's about what they do. They class it as a redesign or a restructure, because as anything else in big business, the big people take over the little people. And what they do to make their money, they'll do a redesign, stroke a restructure. And what they'll do, as what I know in certain schools, they're getting rid of what we class as teaching assistants and operating on an academic mentor process, where they're going down from 20 teaching assistants to 6 academic mentors. Now, I'm led to believe that to become an academic mentor, you need a degree. There's not many TAs within the City Council that have degrees.
Well, can you explain then, if you're gonna need a degree for that post, would you not just be the teacher?
Well, totally, you've read my mind, because to me that's just a backdoor way of getting failed teachers, for want of a better word, into a new role, and getting rid of the teaching assistants. And what we've got to remember is the people that became teaching assistants became them because that was their way of life. They might have had children, they might be female, and it was them type of hours, them good hours that suited them. And it's not to say they couldn't become teachers in the future, but because of their own way of life, that's what they wanted to do, become a teaching assistant.
So they're being penalised because of their career choice.
Totally, and what you got to remember, we're all being penalised by these academies because we've all paid into the education system over these years. I have, my father have, my sons are doing now, we all have, and yet we're being ripped off.
Neil, that's brilliant. I now understand what academies are and why we really need to stand against them. Thank you for your time. Thanks, Neil.
My pleasure, sister.